but one where the past contains great sadness. From brutal European colonization to land degradation to the horrific genocide in 1994, the people have had much to endure. Now, Rwanda is modernizing, at a time when many of its neighbors in East Africa are facing the threat of famine, and the world has recognized.
We believe that the responsibility of each nation to find don't compromise the sustainable development we are looking for World 2. And this
of this climate change, and we came up with figures, and those figures were so instructive, so helpful for policymakers. And from this assessment, we decided we cannot wait. This is why you have been developing this climate change, this strategy for climate change adaptation and low carbon growth for Rwanda.
Challenged by climate variability, extreme weather events, dependency on imported oil, population growth, and regional food shortages. Nevertheless, Rwanda is emerging. The country is developing its institutional base and legal frameworks, and the economy is growing at one of the fastest rates in the world. We've come to Rwanda to observe as this country develops its national strategy and to document the steps the government and the people of Rwanda are employing to move beyond the tragedies of the past, to simultaneously develop the economy and address the challenges of climate change. The 20th century for Rwanda was a very tough time. When European colonization ended, it left a very damaged society. The culminated in the brutal genocide of 1994. This awful legacy reset the clock in Rwanda. Now, a new generation of Rwandans is striving to put the past behind them and build their common future. In a notable process, various Rwandan government ministries collectively expressed an integrated vision of how the country can continue to grow its economy while simultaneously strengthening its resilience to climatic and economic shocks. Among the lowest per capita emitters of greenhouse gases in the world, Rwandans clearly can't be blamed for causing climate change. But like everyone else on Earth, they're vulnerable. Now that temperatures in Rwanda have been rising at a higher rate than global averages. In a series of far-reaching decisions, Rwanda has connected its development together with restoring its ecology and increasing resilience to climate change. For the vast majority of Rwandans, this means replacing destructive traditional agricultural techniques with more sustainable methods, and for some, leaving agriculture altogether. Although Rwanda has traditionally been blessed with abundant rainfall and fertile volcanic soils, it also has one of the highest population densities in the world. This puts enormous pressure on scarce land resources.
Look at what happens in Africa. Desertification is increasing, mostly because people are really scrambling for whatever possibility there is to produce food, including going into lands that we shouldn't be going into. We are going into marginal areas that we shouldn't be going into because people need food.
The mountainous topography and the large number of small farmers demanding land has led to deforestation and farming on the steep slopes.
Yaramanukaga rwose hakaba umuntu musanze wacitse tera imihengeri hakaba n'igihe yaridutse ibijojo nibyo twakoreshaga gutera mu mpuza mu byerekeranye n'imikingo ariko nta cyatumaga bidasenyuka.
Through painful experience, Rwanda has recognized that its development is dependent on functioning ecosystems. and the country has begun implementing nationwide land use reform. This has meant terracing the hillsides to create more sustainable fields for the farmers and plant a large number of trees.
Up here you can have more than 60% slope. And this land has been put in forest land. And the people from here have been relocated to Rubavu side.
mbere byari bikabije cyane, hari n'ahantu hitwa mu Kinamba hari harasenyutse ndetse abantu baranimuka nako kadugudu ka kwa 10 nta kindi kintu cyongeye kwangirika.
Rwandan tea is one of the country's biggest export crops. Josepha works in one of the largest tea plantations.
nyine nzabyuka njye nihumure ngende njye mu kazi hanyuma dusorome tupikinge tujye gupima nitumara gupima nyine dusubiremo twongere tujye gupima hanyuma nanone dusorome nitumara gusoroma dupime dutaha.
It's a pretty hard life.
ariko ntikiba gihagije ariko nkakibona.
Reform in Rwanda has also included institutional development and the strengthening of legal rights.
There are two major undertakings that we have within our institution. One, which was the development of the National Land Use Master Plan. The other major program is the land registration program. We also believe that with the registration of land, people get security of tenure. From the results we've got from the pilot, there's a positive indication that with secure tenure, people are able to invest more and care better for their land. We are giving ourselves maybe 3 years of growth so that by 2020 we have 30% of actually forested area. So there's now really an aggressive campaign across the country to restore destroyed forests.
Rwanda forestation and large-scale ecosystem restoration is a response to the implementation of this strategy. We would like to adapt, but we want also to mitigate. So by increasing our forest cover, we are recovering the ecological functions. So this is why this initiative is a response to what you have planned to the strategy already in place.
The reforms have now been going on for several years, and there have been results.
There has been a lot of restoration that has been carried out relating to our environment. And we've seen that restoration grow from year to another year.
Rwanda would be one case where you can see very live examples of changes that have happened within a short period of time. I always refer to a district just nearby here, Bugesera district, which 10 years ago was semi-arid, but today it's becoming one of the bread baskets for the country. And it's in a complete contrast to just across the border in Burundi. These are just the same. These are two areas that used to suffer from famine year in, year out. But with afforestation, the microclimate of Bugesera has changed. People are growing crops and people come to actually get food from across the border.
But in order to ensure that the land won't be degraded again, the causes of the degradation must be addressed. Approximately 80% of the Rwandan people make their living as small farmers or farm workers. The primary source of energy for them has been firewood or charcoal, and this has traditionally contributed to deforestation. Transitioning away from burning biomass to a cleaner and more sustainable energy source is central to Rwanda's future.
How do we provide energy for 11 million people today and probably 25?
As complex as this seems, within Rwanda are a number of innovative ideas. The vast majority of Rwandans are still not connected to the national electrical grid, and the cost to connect small mountain villages can be prohibitive. This suggests that distributed energy production could be an answer. One such technology is local production of biogas. Justin and Chantel are very glad their family can participate in early adoption.